Public debt is and continues to be a major point of engagement and conversation in Kenya.
Kenya ambayo tunaambiwa deni liko Kenya hapa. Kenya hatuna deni hata sumuni moja.
Government can easily get the monies that we are borrowing externally by selling just a proportion of Safaricom as an institution.
Public debt, a name that every Kenyan can currently associate with as long as you are a lover and a follower of the politics of the Republic of Kenya. As we know as the Republic at large, currently, the Kenyan public debt is standing at about 12 trillion Kenyan shillings. Remember, the country has been crying for an audit into the current public debt that the country has. Now, the president does not stop, if the president does not stop borrowing, as we were told by the Member of Parliament of KEHURU, Honorable PETITION, then the country will go into default. And this has forced some Kenyans of goodwill to take drastic measures to stop President William Ruto from going ahead to continue borrowing money using Kenya as his property. That is what he is doing. As of today, we received news that the High Court of Kenya has moved to stop President William Ruto from borrowing further through a petition that was filed at the High Court of Kenya by the Busia Senator Okiyah Omutatah and 6 other Kenyans. Now, the Busia Senator Okiyah Omutatah has filed a court petition aiming to stop President William Ruto's government from taking on more loans or paying debts that are not approved in Kenya's national budget. It has been an issue, by the way, which Okiyah Omutatah has taken very seriously to deal with matters public debt. He has compiled a dossier that exposes how money has been swindled through the name of borrowing for the sake of development in the Republic of Kenya for the last 15 years since the UHURU government came into power. According to the details, the last regime of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta borrowed an amount of 6 trillion that could not be accounted for. When it comes to the current regime of President William Ruto, it has also borrowed more than 4 trillion, if I may say so. So, are these borrowing or these debt really approved by the Parliament of Kenya as they are supposed to be approved through Parliament debating on them and then agreeing and voting on them, and also involving the public through public participation to making sure that the public is in agreement that, we have signed on it, Mr. President, now you can go borrow the loan on our behalf. That is something that we haven't done. No, we didn't do it in the Uhuru government, and nor have we done it in the William Ruto's government. As we know, the president has not even touched down in the country because he has been in China, where he had gone to borrow more money for the sake of development, in quotes. Now, continuing with the petition that has been filed by Omutatah, known for his bold activism, joined forces with Dr. Magare Gikenyi, activist Eliud Matindi, and 6 other petitioners. Together, they accused the government of engaging in reckless and unconstitutional borrowing. According to them, these financial actions could harm Kenya's economy and burden citizens with unnecessary debts. In their petition, they argue that the executive is bypassing legal financial procedures. According to an article written by The Standard on Saturday, they said, Busia Senator Okiyah Omutatah filed a fresh petition in court seeking to halt President William Ruto's administration from incurring further loans or repaying new debts not authorized within the national budget. The petition, filed jointly with Dr. Magarege Kenya and activist Eliud Matindi and 6 other petitioners, accuses the executive of engaging in a rampant and unconstitutional borrowing spree that could plug the country into a full-blown whatever. Now, they warn that continued borrowing without proper budget approval risks plunging the country into deeper economic trouble. Allow me to tell you something. As the president was in China, he had also sent the CBK governor, the Central Bank of Kenya governor, Kamau Thuge, together with the current cabinet secretary of Treasury, John Mbadi. They had been sent to America to negotiate on borrowing a loan to finance the upcoming 2025 finance bill without the approval of Kenyans. I mean, did we Kenyans really debate, or were the details made public on why John Mbadi was sent to IMF, the International Monetary Fund, to borrow more loans from IMF on the name of Kenya? These people are borrowing this money. But do you know that this money is not even deposited in the consolidated bank as it is supposed to be deposited? It is being channeled to personal accounts owed by people in the recent government. And that is what happened with the Uhuru Kenyatta's Eurobond. The Eurobond was deposited in people's bank accounts instead of being deposited in the consolidated bank account where this money now could be withdrawn for the sake of development in the country. Are we together? Apart even from borrowing from IMF, they are borrowing from China. And also currently, we are being told that they have borrowed from Qatar. A loan of 194 billion was processed and it has been disbursed. So the question is, all this money that we are borrowing, yet when it comes to matters economy, every Kenyan currently is struggling. Where does that money go? And that is where Okiyah Omutatah has come in for the rescue of the people of the Republic of Kenya. Now they have therefore asked the court, Okiyah Omutatah and the others, they have asked the court to urgently intervene and protect public finances. The petitioners further claim that the government borrowing spree violates the constitution, which demands transparency, accountability, and responsible financial management. They are asking the court to declare any debts not included in the budget illegal. This move comes at a time when Kenyans are increasingly concerned about the growing national debt and the rising cost of living. Now, critics have often pointed fingers at the government's borrowing habits, blaming them for the weakening shilling and shrinking public services. Senator Okiyah Omutatah's action is expected to spark serious legal and political discussions around how Kenyans' finances are managed. The court will now have to determine whether the government's current and future borrowing practices meet the constitutional requirements. The hearing date for the petition is yet to be announced. Now, the court even today went ahead to summon the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, the former Cabinet Secretary of Treasury, the Controller of Budget, and others who were involved in borrowing money in the previous regime, and the money that was borrowed cannot be accounted for. They should come and explain to Kenyans how they used their money, because this money belongs to Kenyans. This money does not belong to President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta nor William Ruto. An amount of 6 million disappeared under the watch of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So if he doesn't account and give account of how this money was used and which projects the money were used to fund, then these people should pay those debts Kenyans shouldn't be the one to help them pay those debts because they took the money, so they should pay for the money. Same thing with President William Ruto. If he cannot account for the money that has been borrowed until now since he got into office, the man, that debt, the IMF, China, and the rest of the countries that they have borrowed from should put that debt on the name of President William Ruto. He should be the one to pay that debt. That is actually what Okiyah Omutatah and the rest are currently perpetuating. And we really back that move. If the money you borrow, we cannot see. I mean, let me ask. William Ruto, according to the current public debt audit, it has been claimed that he has borrowed an amount of 4 trillion. 1.3 trillion disappeared from the treasury. It cannot be accounted for. Even these other money, about let's say 3 trillion, cannot be accounted for. I mean, I dare ask you, Kenyans, give me a project that has been funded by President William Ruto since he came into power that is worthy 100 billion. Give me, if you know of any. You can't. Though for Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, he can date a few. But for William Ruto, no. Tell me what is your take on this. Leave a comment on the comment section. Please make sure you subscribe.